Shalom, WJC family. It's Purim. And so today we're going to talk about joy. Does this make you happy? My joy hair? You know, joy from the movie Inside Out? Come on now. It takes more than a few cheap tricks to make us happy, right? I mean, the joy hair is cute and all. So, on Purim, it's a mitzvah to be happy, the whole month of Adar, but it's sometimes hard to access happiness. And so, oh boy, look at that. There we go. And so, that's better. So, Mordechai, 2,500 years ago, he wasn't living in time so different from ours. He also thought it might be difficult for Jews sometimes to access joy. Now, why would he believe that? Remind her that he did just survive and narrowly prevent a complete, annihilation moment for the Jews of the Persian Empire, which was stretched, across the entire Middle East from India to Ethiopia on the modern map. So he knew that it might be a tenuous situation for Jews living in the diaspora, even in places where they could reach posts of great power like Queen Esther and Mordechai himself had done. And so he gave us some tricks, some mitzvot, that the idea is to make us happy. And with it, it unlocks and uncovers a secret about joy and happiness that we, should probably all appreciate in our lives every day. There are 4 mitzvot associated with Purim: reading the Megillah itself. And then we read in chapter 9 of the Megillah that Mordechai gave the Jews a certain set of mitzvot so that they would be able to be merry. What would they have? They would feast. They would send gifts to one another, mishloach manot, and presents to the poor, matanot la'avyonim. These mitzvot are still the mitzvot of Purim today, just like we read them in verse 22 of chapter 9 of the Megillah. But why those 4 things? Of all the things that you would do to celebrate this victory over the wicked Haman and his troops, why, okay, feast, we like to eat, I get it. Read the story, makes a certain amount of sense. But gift baskets to the poor, what do they have to, gift baskets to friends and tzedakah to the poor, what do they have to do with anything? Well, Mordechai was onto something, a very important secret of joy. We tend to think that's what's going to make us happy is what we're going to get. That when someone gives us something, it makes us happy. That is, maybe acquiring something might give us a fleeting sense of happiness, but that's not where true joy comes from. Mordechai knew that joy came from a few other places. 1, telling our story, or even just listening to a good story. Why do we read the Megillah every year? Because it never gets old. It's such a great story, so rich with its heroine Esther and the crazy twists and turns of palace intrigue. You can read it as a political story, or you could read it as a farce, or you can read it as a religious story, even though God's name is left out of the book. We tell stories because stories give us joy, even scary ones. That's why we continue to watch them and listen to them today. Feasting is wonderful. It might make us happy, but what do we do at feasts? We host people. Feasts involve lots of people coming together. What creates joy? Togetherness, good stories, and telling them at big parties. Yes, absolutely. Coming together and hosting people in our homes or spending time with people out, that's great. And mishloach manot and matanot le'evyonim, right? Sending gift baskets and also making gifts to the poor. Those things, those are the truest joy, is the joy of generosity, the joy of giving. As Khalil Gibran said, there are those who give with joy, and that joy is their reward. And Mordechai seemed to understand this, right? If we want to access joy, sitting around and wishing to be happy, it's very hard to control our emotions. Say, I want to be happy now. It doesn't work. Emotions don't work that way. But as Mordechai understood, we can control our actions, and our actions have an impact on our emotions. And we can work on our thoughts and be mindful of what we're concentrating on, and that can have an impact on our emotions. So when we tell the story, when we read Megillat Esther, we're controlling our thoughts. We're reminding ourselves of exciting times, of better times, of great victories. Right? When we take the action of spending time with others in celebration, maybe opening our home for a big Purim party, or a Sudat Mitzvah, Sudat Purim, our Purim meal, well, that makes us happy too. That gives us joy because we've acted on our behaviors and it's turned our thoughts to more festive things. And again, our emotions uplift. Or when we give to others, again, actions impacting our emotions. Mordechai understood this 2,500 years ago. It's all the rage in the scientific community today, right? They call it CBT, that actions, this sort of cycle of actions and emotions and thoughts. And it is clearly understood that emotions are the hardest to control. Thoughts, not quite as hard, but still difficult. Actions, absolutely we can do. And then the thoughts start to change and the emotions start to change. So let's all get joyful the way that Mordechai taught us 2,500 years ago. Great behavioralist that he was. And let's go ahead and read the Megillah and have a Purim Suda today. And don't forget to give your Mishloach Manot, your gift baskets to friends, and your Matanot Le'Evyonim. Give some tzedakah to those who are in need. And indeed, this act of giving these things will garner us great joy. May you have a happy Purim. May you find your way to access that joy. Chag Sameach.